welcome back to the channel. So today I have to make a bit of a confession. I went into Wakefield last Saturday, which was the 2nd of November, and as you know, I'm meant to be doing a no spend November, and yeah, epic fail. I was meeting a friend for afternoon tea, which was lovely. That was really, really nice. And I went early because it's a Saturday. I don't like to go into town. The closer it gets to Christmas, the busier the weekends get, and I find it really difficult with the crowds and the noise and that kind of thing. I find it really, really draining. So I went up early while it was quiet. And I thought I'll have a quick look around the charity shops because I just can't help myself. And I was looking for things for Thriftmas because I've got a few bits I still need to get. And I did pick a couple of bits up, so that was good. But I also looked at the jewellery, and I'd gone into the shopping centre, and Wakefield Hospice had loads of jewellery, and I just started looking, and then that was it. That was the beginning of my downfall. They had some really, really reasonably priced necklaces, and before I knew it, I was at the till, card out, paying, and literally the minute that my card went on the thing and pinged, I was like, what have I just done? I've just bought stuff. So I'm going to show you what I bought, and then I made another boo-boo. I went to the recycle yard, which if you watch my last video, you will have seen the recycle yard because I did a bit of a look around the shop just to show everybody what it's like. It's based in Ossett, and they get lots of materials donated. Those materials are things that crafters could use. So the recycle yard, a lot of their stuff is donated, and it comes from all kinds of different places. Businesses and people donate as well. They have a lot of people's unused craft items, but then they also get lots of other things. So things like pine cones, wine corks. They have a big stash of leather offcuts that comes from a company, and with that you can fill a bag for £1, like a big carrier bag, which is amazing. I've bought some of that before. And yeah, they just fabric on the roll. They have that. They have lace, ribbon, you name it. I challenge any crafter to go to the recycle yard and not buy anything, because it is like a little treasure trove. It's like an Aladdin's cave. It's in a little yard. There's no parking in the yard because there's a garage next door, so they've got to have access. You've got to make sure that you park on the street outside, which there's plenty of spaces. They're dog friendly, so you can go in with your little dogling, and yeah, it's fantastic. I can spend hours and hours in there, and I've been wanting to go for a while, and my mum and dad were going, so I went with them, and I just couldn't help myself. Couldn't. There was, on the video you'll have seen, there was a basket of beads, and they were 50p a bag. So I mean, you can't go wrong. And the one thing with the recycle yard is you have to get things when you see them, because they won't be there for long. Somebody else will come along and snap them up. So I love to work with crystals and gemstones, that kind of thing. So in this 50p basket, there was loads of bags of little crystal beads that have been rescued from broken jewellery. So I got a few of those. I'll show you those now, because these are quite expensive. If you were to buy a strand of quartz beads or agate or lapis, or you know, any type of crystal bead, they can be kind of anywhere from £10 upwards just for one strand. So I got these lovely clear quartz crystal beads, so I'll be able to make use of those. I got these, and I think these are fluorite. They're a really pale green, and I think these have probably come from, you know, those stretchy bracelets when they break and all the beads pop off. These are definitely from a bracelet because they've got the holes drilled in them. I'm not sure what those are either. Some kind of, I don't know. They do look like they've got some flashes of colour in, so I'll have to do a bit of research on those ones. These are my favourites because my favourite colour is orange. And these are, I think some of them are carnelian and some of them are agate. So there's some banded agate in there, and then there's some darker pieces. I've got 2 bags of those ones. And then the last bag that I picked up were these brown banded agates. So they've probably come off a necklace. 50p a bag. It just, like, I can't say no. And like I say, if I went back, you know, after November and tried to get these, they'd be gone. So for 50p, I snapped those up. So that was the beads, and then I got a few other bits as well, which I'll show you. So I picked up these little plastic rings, and I'm not sure where these would have come from or what they were originally used for. They remind me a little bit of handbags, you know, where you've got your handle and then that section's attached to the bag. Maybe that's what they were. But I got a few of those, and I thought I could use those for the totem charm necklaces that I've been making. So I hang them from some cord, and then I can hang the charms down from the bottom. They were 10p each, so I got 4 of those. These are absolutely beautiful, and we had 3 of these, so I picked them all up. This bigger one was £1. I do suspect that these might be silver or silver plate. I'm not sure. I'll have to do a scratch test. But look at that. So it's a clear quartz crystal point, and you can see the natural kind of surface wear there, and they have little inclusions inside, and then it's been finished with a nice silver top. So it's got the bail on the top ready to thread onto a necklace, so that'll go into some kind of design. So that was a larger one. That was only £1, which is a steal. Very, very happy to find those. And then I got one where it's a double point, so it's a point either side, a little bit different, and then a smaller one, and that was only 50p. So maybe these have come from another crafter that's bought them and not used them and donated them, which is amazing. They do sometimes have jewellery bits as well, so they have sometimes necklaces, earrings and bits that people have donated, and then they have unused chains and bracelet chains and things, so I always have a quick look and see what there is, and I picked this up. So I don't know if someone's made this or if it's a bought item, but again, it's only £1, and it's absolutely gorgeous. At the minute, I seem to be really, really drawn to labradorite. It's, yeah, it catches my eye. So there we go, look at that drop. It's quite hard to, oh, there we go, look, you can see the flashes of blue. So it's a lovely teardrop shape, and then it's got this kind of wire wrapped around the top, and then just finished off with a lovely gold tone chain. Very delicate, very, you can tell it's natural. It feels quite rough to the touch. There's some areas where you can see the natural inclusions on there. But for £1, I thought that was awesome. And I'm going to either sell that one on, or that might be a Christmas present, because it's beautiful. So that was awesome. And then the last couple of bits that I got, I also like to do quite a bit of sewing, and when it comes to birthdays, I like to make little gift pouches to put things in. So for example, that necklace, I would make a little pull string gift bag and pop it inside. Rather than buying gift bags and things, I prefer to make my own. So these are little packets of fabrics. So that one's got some birds on, and then they've got, I think, 3 or 4 different fabrics inside, quite vintage. And again, £1, which is amazing. And there's just enough fabric there to make 3 or 4 pouches, which is brilliant, because sometimes when you have to buy a whole metre of fabric and then you don't use it, and you just end up with a massive stash of fabric that you're not going to use, and it's little scraps and odds and ends, whereas these small pieces I can make and there'll be no waste, which is awesome. So I picked 2 of those up just because they had different fabrics in. That's got like a nice English kind of country core, cottage core feel to it. Chintzy. And then some nice kind of, that reminded me of like a tie, like a man's tie. And that was £1. So yeah, I did really well in there. I managed to, I think I spent £11 in total, which is not bad. And then at the charity shops, I spent £8. So in total, I spent £19. And what I've decided I'm going to do is have a reset. So after Monday, I kind of wrote off the weekend and decided that my no spend will start from Tuesday onwards. And we are now on Friday and I haven't spent any money. Been really, really good. I've been doing lots of listing and lots of selling. I've had lots of orders this week, which has been awesome. A few eBay sales. I sold a regatta winter coat that's gone out in the post. I sold, what else did we sell? That little Port Merion pot that went the other day. I sold a necklace and that went in the post. This morning I woke up to a couple of orders from my other Etsy shop, so some stickers. 2 lots of stickers went out today. And yeah, it's been quite a busy week this week, which is awesome. It's just what we want. This item is the item that started my downfall, and it was kind of just sitting on the top of the jewellery stand, and it caught my eye because I thought, oh, it looks like horn or that kind of material. If I show you there, you can see that it's definitely a natural material. Look at those colours, it's beautiful. And it's been hand carved and shaped into a cuff bangle, which just fits me. And my first thought was it could go in my own collection, because I do have a collection of cuff bangles. I love a cuff. But then I was kind of, I don't really need any more at the minute, and should I really, I shouldn't be picking anything up. But it was my favourite price. It was 50 pence. So that was it. Picked that one up, and then whilst I was there, I couldn't help myself but have a look at the other necklaces. And yeah, I picked a few up. They were less tangled than usual, so that helped being able to have a look at them, because sometimes they're all knotted up. So I'll go through those. Let's have a look. What did I pick up first? I think I picked this one up first, and I don't really know if this is a modern one or an old one. This chain looks older, although it does have a more modern lobster claw clasp. But it has this super cute articulated frog at the bottom. He's got little tiny rhinestones for his eyes, and then his little body parts jingle and move. And he was the mighty sum of £2.25. And I just thought someone will love that. Someone who collects maybe animal jewellery or frog jewellery will absolutely love that. So that was the first necklace that I picked up. And then obviously you look at one and then you start looking at all the other ones, and just really lucky to find this. This was £2. So this is a zebra kind of jasper. So black and white. I've had this type of jasper before and made earrings and necklaces out of it. This is a really nice chunky faceted, quite heavy actually. It does need a restring. You can see there where it's gone a little bit loose. So it does need restringing. But it was only £2 and it had a really unusual clasp on it. So I'm going to have a look at that. I suspect actually that could be silver. And it does have something printed on the little hook there. So there could be a brand name on there as well. So I shall have a look at that. But that's beautiful for £2. And then let's have a look. What else did I got? I got this little bundle, which are little tiny pink beads. And I've had these before in kind of natural stone colour and sandy colours and browns, and I usually take them off the strings and use them in earrings and other designs, and they were only £1.25 for all of those beads, which yeah, you can't go wrong. You couldn't buy beads like that brand new for that price. This is super sweet, and it was the colour that attracted me to this. So this is kind of a typical 1950s, mid-century necklace, rhinestone one. It was £1.50. And it's super, super sweet. There we go. So it's got like a lighter green and then a dark green rhinestone finish. Really, really cute. More of a like a choker style because it's quite short. And then there's more. I think this was the last one I picked up in the hospice because I also got a couple of bits in Sense up at the top of town as well. I bumped into Joanne and we stopped and had a bit of a chat, and she was telling me about all the jewellery that she's still got to sort out, and she's put some broken bits to one side for me, which is amazing. So this is really simple. It's just a 3-strand cream bead necklace, plastic. But look at the clasp. I thought the clasp was lovely. Look at that. Really nice. It's a little pinch one where it slides out. I did think it might have had a maker's mark on there, but there's nothing on there. But I've not seen a clasp like that before. So that was good. That was £2.50. And then these two were from Sense. So Joanne has done a really nice display. She's got them all hanging down one wall. They're really easy to look at, and they kind of catch your eye as well. So hopefully they're selling plenty of jewellery because of that display. So this was only £1.50. So it's a lovely Art Deco necklace with these gorgeous faceted blue glass beads and little metal connections. I absolutely love these necklaces, and they always seem to sell well as well. So yeah, I was really pleased. If I hold it up that way, you'll be able to see the blue. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this one is a bit unusual, and I'm not 100% sure what it's made from, so I need to do a bit of research. But it was the orange that caught my eye because that's my favourite colour. It was only £2, and at first I thought it was selenite, which is a type of gemstone, type of mineral. But selenite is really delicate. It's very soft. It tends to fall away in pieces. I have some upstairs. I've got a little selenite tower and a palm stone as well. So bead wise, I don't think it would be selenite because they would chip really easily and fall apart. But it does have that type of a look to it. It's got lines going all the way through it. So maybe it is just some type of glass and it's just the way that it's been cut and finished. I need to do a bit of a Google lens on that one. But they're beautiful. There we go. So it's got those lovely kind of amber coloured beads there. Amber is a no-no word on Etsy. So if you do sell on Etsy, if you sell jewellery, don't ever use the word amber, even if it's to describe the colour of something. Even if it's fake amber, just don't use the word amber because your items will get taken down. So I've used it in the past, not realising, to describe, for example, I would say they were amber colour, and Etsy has taken the listing down, and then you get a bit of a warning as well. You get an email to say that one of your items is a prohibited item and has been removed. And I believe if you get so many warnings, you can then get a permanent suspension, which means that you can never sell on Etsy again, which is very harsh. And they don't share with you what those kind of milestones are for getting permanently suspended. And I've had a few listings taken down just because I didn't realise that you couldn't use the word amber. And even if you try and argue with them and say, well, it's not actually amber, I was using it to describe the colour, they're not interested. So yeah, don't ever use the word amber, just use the word orange instead. So there we go. So that was my haul. So I ended up getting a nice bunch of resale items and a nice bunch of items for making as well. So yeah, but not bad for the mighty sum of £19. I have lots of bunches of things that I've got out ready to list, so I'm going to be doing that. And I seem to be finding that the more I list on eBay, the more sales come through as well. So I don't know if it gives you a bit of a bump in the algorithm, if it means that your things get shown to people a little bit more. So I'm just going to keep doing little batches throughout the week and listing things and seeing if that gets me some more sales before Christmas. So next video is going to be the Q&A. I've had a few more questions come in the comments on the last video, which was awesome. So I've made a nice list of everything, and then I'm going to film myself going through the answers, giving some shout outs, and you can get to know me a little bit better, which will be nice. So as always, if you've enjoyed the content, consider giving us a like and subscribing to the channel.